I hope y'all enjoying this.
This is great.
Because this was made purposely for you, as you can see, and the questions are very direct to what you do. So now let's have some fun. Because Heritage Hip Hop is all about teaching the artists and teaching people how to brand build, own your brand, but be legal with your brand as well. So this is a legal entity, an LLC. With it being an LLC and you really being the owner and the boss of something, rather than calling yourself boss, how has that changed your life? How has that changed your understanding of how the business goes?
That's a deep question. Being a business owner, I would say it makes you also, I'm going to say like this, the best way I can put it is like, being somebody who worked under people and then also starting to run your own, you see what a real owner does. You know what I mean? And then you realize by yourself, like for some people who are not a corporation or something, like it's a lot of work and you have to be consistent. And you know, when you even want to take certain types of breaks, you gotta still do something. You know what I mean? So it tells you that like pretty much to be successful for anybody, you have to be consistent no matter what.
In terms of an artist, what would you tell them about the work? Because you know what I see? I see a lot of people say in hip hop you work harder than you do at a desk job. Because at a desk job you get a certain amount of tasks and you get to go home and your mind's not on what you do and you come to work the next day. But when you're doing the work never stops. And that's the difference between a job and work. Man gives you a job, God gives you your work. So tell me how the work never stops when you're in, and how do you teach that to an artist about keeping the work going?
Your drive and your passion is what's going to determine your outcome. At the end of the day, and like she said, consistency is key. The more consistent you are, the more that people are going to see. And when you're hardworking like that, you attract the right kind of people. And being able to determine what's good energy, what's not good energy, that's all about your consistency when it's all said and done.
Yeah, consistency is the weakness of a lot of people, especially in America, because the people who are consistent are evil. Because they will always look to see how they can get a leg up on somebody else to destroy competition. So, on the level of that, why do you think people in Jersey don't work together? I have a theory, but I want to know. I want to talk to somebody who's in my, you're in my clientele. I want to know. As a peer, why do you think people are so against working with each other? And I don't mean the artists. I mean everybody.
This is that. I love it.
You know, personally from my experience. No, from my experience, especially running the magazine, like I speak one-on-one with a lot of these artists before they're even in the issue, or sometimes just networking with them. Like a lot of it's just fear, and they just hold on to it. Like I don't know if anybody's heard like the saying like being a hermit and like just closing off to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like everybody creates a lot of dope stuff, then they keep it to themselves, and then if they want to show somebody, they're scared of showing somebody because they think that somebody's gonna steal their stuff. It's like the factor of like you said earlier, like being afraid of taking in that love from people. Like, you know what I mean? Because once it's sincere, then they feel away. If you work with a bunch of people, you'll realize you might create something way better. You know what I mean? For the art, though. Doing it for the art and for the right reasons, working with them. And then, you know, it'll go and work out better for you, you know? But a lot of people are just closed off.
You know what I want to start? I want to start a media campaign. But it's not for what I do. It's for the media to campaign. Okay. And this is what I mean. Everybody gets angry at how the artists don't work together. Why doesn't the media work together? What do you think? Because what you're saying actually goes into why I think New Jersey's not where it needs to be. So why do you think the media outlets don't work together?
Honestly, I think that's for anybody. Artists, business, it's all the same reason. Because honestly, when you work with more people, you might even have a better turnout business-wise too. Like, truthfully, it'll help them grow if they do, and they open to it.
So let me bring this to the table. There's a fast food convention every year where Pepsi, Coke, all of them get together, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, they all get together, and they tell each other what they're going to do for the year. They high five and say, let's kill the public, and they leave. You know what I'm saying? It's also the reason why you see commercials with taste tests with both brands, because you know both brands have to get paid. As a business, you know this now, because it's like, okay, so then they're working together to get this thing accomplished. And no matter what the sales are, they work together to get these things accomplished. We have, in New York City, 2 major hip-hop stations. And people think they beef. They're only trying to get the attention of the viewer or audience, but they do the same thing. And when artists go on their media circuit, they go to both places. So outside of them two, then you also have the internet radio, XM series, and probably if they have it in their thing, the lower level, we would say, like us, or because we're not nationally broadcasted yet.
Yeah, it's speaking to existence.
So, in hearing people from Jersey say we have to get together to work together, I don't blame it on the artist. I blame it on us. How do you feel about that?
I would agree, because it's an individual thing. Because there's certain people who are willing to work, but then there's a majority who might not. That's individually per person. It might come off different, but that's who to blame. Really, you can't blame the artist. You know what I mean?
Everybody has their own agenda, and it depends on how genuine it is at the end of the day. Because different intent. Like I said, it goes back to the energy and the self-love. Like if you, it will come right off of you. If you know, it will come right off of you. If you have the right intentions, the right mind frame, and everything. But when you have your own selfish agenda, that will you will show up. It will show up.
Agenda. Once again, capitalism, and it goes back into I have to be number one. In today's society, we're seeing the number one attitude be exposed and fall. All right? When we see people like Donald Trump as president, I think Donald Trump's one of the greatest presidents in American history, by far. There's no one who can say he's not a great president. And the reason why I say he's a great president is not because I believe in what he's doing. I believe he's exposing what's being done, and now you have to think for yourself. Do you stand with this, or are you going to make change? A lot of people want to be force-fed change instead of being the change.
Okay.
We Are New Jersey is the change. And the reason why I say that is because you took the issue to the people to give the people power. Heritage hip-hop is the change. Because we're telling the people, not only are you powerful, you can own your power and make it work for you. And there's many other brands out there that are the change. But here's the thing that's the lack of change that I see. I'm number one. You're number two. Instead of saying, okay, I'm number two, but I'm getting there, people say, okay, I'm number two, I'm the first loser. How do we change that mentality to make sure or bring forth the collective unity that it would take to make New Jersey a powerful statement in the world and not just local?
Teamwork.
It'll be a lot of teamwork and a lot of work toward people's mindsets. Mindset really is what would have to change that. If you have the mindset that you have to be first all the time, then every single time that you're not first, your mindset's probably negative because you're not first. But if you change people's mindset to be, regardless of what place they're in, they're still winning regardless because they have their own accomplishments from whatever the situation may be, then it would work out better, of course.
You notice the people now that have the successful teams are the most open-minded individuals. Good. And at the end of the day, when they're open-minded like that, you get nothing but positivity. And that's why they can sell out crowds and they're not even at number one yet. Because they're not worried about number one. They're bringing up everybody else with them so we could all be number one. At the end, the number one doesn't have to be one individual. It could be a whole collective team.
You could be one at so many things that your number two could be one somewhere else. You see what I'm saying?
Sir.
Look at the company that just dethroned Apple for the number one cell phone in the world. Everybody wants to buy Apple products, and Apple, because I'm number one on Apple, they have been blocking this company from coming to America. And they actually came to America, but they had to do it under the look of, we can't fully blast the campaign yet, but they're still destroying it. it's amazing how all you have to do is use what you have to be the person that you want, and you'll grow from that. Everybody wants to be Jay-Z and Beyonce, and yes, that is the goal. You want to sell out some stadiums, or you want to be like me and you. We want to be Viacom or something like that one day. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I appreciate that, but sometimes you got to be Video Music Box and get the hearts of the people to have a legacy and to inspire the next. And sometimes you can't be Jay-Z, but you may be Nas or Kool G Rap, and you make a legacy. Redman, you know, How's the Ripper. You could be these people who are not maybe number one on the charts, but they're number one somewhere else, and they have their life and they live comfortable.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about.